class, welcome to week 4/week 5. This video is really addressing your assignments within week 5. Because week 5 is a bigger week, I wanted to preemptively talk about the assignments that you're doing. This week, you're really just doing a discussion board, talking about what you figured out from your diet evaluation. Usually that's a pretty eye-opening experience for a lot of students who maybe don't pay particularly great attention to what they're eating, and so it's usually a pretty big lesson, and so it's just an opportunity for you guys to talk about it. Week 5, you can kind of see here, we have a lot going on this week, and so I advise you to start your content possibly now, as that might be easier. As we get into week 5, you have your first exam. It's all the details are here for you. You have about a minute a question, and it is timed. You will be able to see what you missed after your exam is complete, after the due date. And so, yes, so after the due date, you'll be able to see everything that you missed. I'm sure that it will go very well as long as you've been studying. Again, that's what all these learning objectives at the beginning of the chapter are really for. And that's what the activities are for as well. But let's get to Eat Clean, Live Dirty. One of my favorite assignments. I love this podcast that you're going to be listening to. First of all, this is just a little YouTube TED Talk, super short, just to give you a preemptive understanding of the microbiome. The microbiome plays a really large role in our body. We have not even begun to scratch the surface on all the microbiome does, controls, and contributes to as far as our physiological, our psychological, our emotional health. And so this just lays a little foundation. What you are going to do for this assignment is you are going to listen to this podcast right here. You can listen to it, you can download it onto Apple, you can listen to it online, you can listen to it a multitude of ways. It is a pretty long podcast. It's about 2 hours. It doesn't start until about 16 minutes into the podcast. And so it is going to be chock full of information. You are going to be taking notes while you're listening to this podcast. You will be turning those notes in. So let's step through that. I've given you this. You can use this or you cannot use this. A lot of students, so you can kind of see here, we have 5 categories. This is going to help you organize what you're learning. And so if you choose to use this, what you can do is as you're listening to the podcast, you can quickly write down on here ideas and thoughts and notes that come to you as you're listening. You do not have to do that this way. This is just an idea for you. Other students have just typed out notes as they've gone. This means you can handwrite them as long as you have the ability to scan them back in. That piece is totally up to you. But you will turn in notes. You need to turn in a complete set of notes. If you, this podcast is about 2.5 hours. It is full of so much information that literally this could be 5 full pages. So if you turn in notes to me, you've written like 4 sentences on each topic, you didn't do the job that I'm really looking for. This assignment's worth 50 points. That's actually a lot of points in my class. And so think about that kind of energy when you're completing the assignment. What you are going to do is you are going to write a journal. You will not attach a Word document to the journal. The only attachments you will be making is you will be attaching your notes and attaching your research article. Not linking, attaching. For the rest, I want you to write directly in the journal. And this is why it's actually kind of frustrating when you're opening journals and discussion boards if you have to open a bunch of additional documents. And so it's just much simpler if you do it this way. What you will do is you are going to answer each one of these questions. So basically, think about this. You're going to take a bunch of notes in the podcast, and then you're going to take all your notes and you're going to answer these questions. Okay. And so these questions should be pretty thoroughly answered. I would say each one of these is a small paragraph at minimum. Okay. Here you will see that this is how you will be awarded the points for your work. And again, this will all be in here. So once you make your post, again, if I'm going to create a journal entry, I'm going to title it My Cool Microbiome. I'm going to title my stuff and look here, browse my computer. So this is where I'm going to make 2 attachments. You can make multiple attachments here. Say I want to make this attachment. I'm going to open that. I'm going to browse my computer again, and I'm going to do a little COVID sign, and now I've got multiple attachments. Okay, and so you can totally prep this on another document and then submit it. That's just fine. Okay, this assignment will take you some time. This is actually why I'm highlighting it to you, as now I've gotten lost in Blackboard land here. And so you are going to want to start early. You're going to want to proactively begin this work because the end of next week is pumped full of a lot of due dates. And so I hope you enjoy this. Most students really, really love this assignment. I always get feedback on how well it is liked and how much you will learn off this assignment. And really, the other thing to keep in mind is this, especially with nutrition, especially with this class, we study the science, right? We're not really looking at how we've been raised and what we believe and what we want to be true because it's more convenient to us. And so keep in mind, I'm not introducing anything that hasn't been supported by research. I'm not introducing conjecture. And so when you're listening, even if you listen to something that does not fit or does not align with your current beliefs, that's actually okay. The wisest people in the world can look at something that doesn't align with their beliefs and try to see where a point could be made, try to see where their value could be taken from what they've learned. That just makes you a critical thinker. That makes you bright. And so if you find you're listening to something and your mind is closing, think about that and be like, no, 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 stay open, stay open. That will be the bulk of this class is me throwing some things at you and you sitting thinking back saying, I didn't want to know that, or I don't like that, or I don't agree with it. And that is okay. So just kind of keep that mind pried open so you can learn something new. Have a great assignment.